Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stu here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. We'll have a bit of a chat about what is happening here in Spain. We'll go into the newspapers and check out what is happening there. And then at the end of the video, we'll go into the comment section and take a look what is going on there also. Now, the Spanish national football team's hopes of winning another European Championship came to an end yesterday. They went down in a penalty shootout to Italy at Wembley. And although Spain looked like a better team throughout much of the game, in my opinion, they weren't able to make it to the final. And we'll see who takes on Italy out of the game tonight between Denmark and England. The general consensus here in Spain is that the team is quite good. A lot of people were happy with the team's performance throughout the competition, and the coach Luis Enrique has been able to consolidate his project according to the press. So we'll see how Spain performs in the next major tournament, the World Cup. Now, there's some good news today as far as the economy is concerned, and it is that Brussels has improved its forecast for the Spanish economy for 2021. We can see in this headline here that Brussels improves the growth forecast for Spain in 2021 by 0.3, but reduces it by 0.5 point for 2022. They assure that economic recovery in Spain has solidified in the second quarter and will finish the year with a growth of 6.2%. So the economy here in Spain got back on track in the second quarter of 2021, obviously when the country started to reopen after all the closures in the first quarter of the year. And I imagine now the objective for the government is to keep the economy open for the rest of the year. However, as we know, COVID-19 cases are on the rise again here in Spain, and as we can see from this headline here in the English version of El País, Spain's regions moved to reintroduce coronavirus measures as infections continue to spike. The latest report included 14,137 new infections and added 18 fatalities to the overall death toll. The two-week incidence of the virus rose 20 points in a day to 225. So how are the autonomous community governments here in Spain and the central government going to react with this new spike in cases? Catalonia announced yesterday that they are closing the interior parts of nightlife venues, and one autonomous community, Castilla y León, wants to bring back a curfew and make masks mandatory again outdoors. As we can see here, Castilla y León insists on a curfew and outdoor mask wearing. So one step forward, two steps back here in Spain, and we'll see what other autonomous communities do when it comes to new restrictions. Now, as we know, this new uptick in cases here in Spain is mainly among the younger generations, people between the ages of 15 and 29, and one newspaper is asking the question, is there a similar trend in other European countries? They asked the question, does the rest of Europe have a problem with the incidence rate among youth? And the answer is that among the four countries that they look at, France, Germany, Italy and Portugal, only Portugal has a similar problem. And we can see here that the incidence rate among the 15 to 24 age group in Portugal is 328 cases per 100,000 inhabitants in the last 14 days, which, as I said, is similar to what's going on here. And the central government said yesterday that they are considering closing down nightlife again here in Spain in order to try to nip this current COVID-19 increase in the bud. And as you can imagine, owners of nightclub venues around the country were not happy when they heard that piece of news. And we can see the complaint of one of these nightlife lobbies here in Barcelona. It's very easy to close businesses from a chair at the town hall. So the nightlife sector in some parts of the country unhappy at the decisions that are being taken by bureaucrats because this sector is again in the spotlight. Now let's leave the news there and go to the comment section and check out what is happening there. One here from Julian. Stu, when did you become a Marxist? Prices are so high because of ridiculous taxes by this massive nasty socialist government. Yeah, Julian, thanks for the comment. I'm not really sure when I became a Marxist, or even if I am a Marxist. I've always considered myself more of a Leninist, perhaps a Stalinist, maybe a Maoist, or even a Castroist. And I don't think that high prices can be attributed directly to this massive, nasty socialist government, as you like to call them, because prices have been on the rise for some time, even before this government came to power. One here from Andrea. I have a brother aged 24 and a sister aged 20, both living here in the Comunidad Valenciana, and they have both received messages asking if they intended to go elsewhere for holidays to see if they will be here for their vaccination or if it needs to be done elsewhere. So it seems they don't have dates yet, but preparations are being made here. Yeah, Andrea, thanks for the comment and thanks for telling us about the situation down there regarding vaccinations in the Valencian community, and especially that key age group at the moment, the 20 to 29s. We saw the other day that some autonomous communities here in Spain have started to vaccinate this age group, and I think that Madrid announced today that they are going to start with the 16 plus age group very, very soon if not this week. So it does seem that autonomous community governments are starting to take vaccination among this age group seriously at last. One here from Buddha, you mentioned Johnson's decision as being one of the biggest mistakes of all time. WTF, I'm 100% sure you're sent to wind people up. I can only imagine how desperately annoying you were as a kid. No wonder you moved countries. Yeah, Buddha, thanks for the comment, me old mate, me old China, and this just goes to prove that a lot of people that watch these videos don't understand exactly what I say. Let's have a look exactly what I said yesterday. So time will tell if the Johnson decision is a good one or one of the biggest mistakes of all time. So if it's a good decision or one of the worst decisions of all time. If or, and I'm sorry you don't understand that complex grammar structure. So do me a favor, Buddha, and before you go off at half cock and start insulting people, escucha. One here from Shiny Shiny Things, born and raised in California for the most part, but I knew nothing about Spain until I visited here when I was almost 50. Fell in love immediately. It's both familiar and exotic. The food is great and the cost of living outside Madrid and Barcelona beats that in California by a large margin. Yeah, Shiny, thanks for the comment, obviously referring to why so many people from California seem to love Spain, and we'll take a look at a few more comments from people that also give their opinion on the topic. And it's true that a lot of people do come to Spain and fall in love with the country immediately, which was your case. And I agree with you there about some of the things that make this country a great place to live. For example, food and the cost of living outside the big cities, of course. One here from Roy, I'm one of those Californians who would prefer living in Spain. For me, Spain isn't my only alternate country, but I already speak Spanish and I like the weather in both places. I would like to leave the US because of the proliferation of guns here. I'm not exactly anti-guns, but when there are way more guns than people, and with the number of mass shootings going on, it becomes untenable. California politics is pretty good compared to the rest of the US, so if I don't get a chance to live abroad, I will definitely stay in California. I will, however, definitely leave Los Angeles County after having lived here for just over 25 years. Yeah, Roy, thanks for the comment, and that does seem to be one of the main issues that a lot of people have with the United States, or at least some parts of the United States: guns and mass shootings. I don't want to talk about it too much here because I don't want to start up a debate on the topic, but I will say that Spain does not have a problem with guns and is a very safe country to live in from that perspective. Every now and again, of course, you see the odd story in the press about somebody getting shot, normally a single shot, but I can't remember the last mass shooting. So that's one aspect that Spain definitely doesn't have anything in common with California. One here from Sheila, California, Spain, cost of living, health insurance costs, traffic, air quality, guns, gangs, Spain cada vez. Yeah, Sheila, thanks for the comment, and clear to see where you would prefer to live. And given that I don't have first-hand experience of what it's like to live in California, I'll take your opinion on those points. Cost of living here in Spain is still quite reasonable. Health insurance costs are low, I believe, compared to other countries. Traffic is only a problem in the big cities here in Spain, and from what I have heard and seen, it is nothing compared to Los Angeles. Air quality, again, outside the big cities is quite good. No guns, and when it comes to gangs, they exist, but I don't think they are as violent or as dangerous as the ones there in the US. So para ti y para muchos, España cada vez. One here from Bronze God, Yorkshire lad here living in Menorca, newly subscribed to your channel. Thank you for the news summaries. Been here just over 2 years. With the isolation of COVID, I'm struggling with the language. Age probably doesn't help either. Seems to be 3 languages here, Spanish, Catalan and Menorquin. I do seem to have mastered Spanglish though. Fabulous place to live, multicultural, lots of younger Brits have settled here. I'm the token old guy of the group of multinational people. Eastern Europeans, Portuguese, German, Irish, Spanish and Americans. All of them speak English. I need to get my finger out and learn Spanish. Yeah, Bronze God, thanks for the comment, and good to see that you are enjoying your time there in Menorca, which I imagine is a fantastic place to live there in the Balearic Islands. And I can imagine that the subject of languages there in the Balearic Islands could be a bit of a problem, given that they have a local language, and of course Castilian Spanish being spoken also. But my advice would be to focus on the dominant language of the country, Castilian Spanish, because if you went to the majority of other places here in Spain, you would have to speak that language and not the local language there in Menorca. So you're right, probably a good idea to pull the proverbial finger out and start improving your language skills. On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.